Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, this might be one of the craziest stories in hip hop right now. So there was these three rappers, right? And they were set to perform. You know, it's just a normal thing. Rappers trying to get on their grind. None of them have a super big name or anything like that so far as I can see. And you know, they're just in the building stages of their career. So meet with the promoter, show up to the show, sound check, the normal routine, right? Well, it's been weeks since these rappers were supposed to be at this show and they've been missing. And reportedly this morning, their bodies were found in an abandoned building. So this got all sorts of craziness surrounded around it. You know what I mean?
Bruh.
Like nobody knows what's going on in this situation. It's got to be way deeper than that. But man, let's actually look at some of the news stories out there. First, I want to play this news clip that they got on social media, and they kind of tell the story. So let's check this out right here, right?
Gratiot on January 21st, but that event was canceled. Fox 2 sources have confirmed the bodies of three missing rap artists have been found. The rappers went missing since a concert in Detroit they were supposed to play got canceled nearly 2 weeks ago. Armani Kelly, 38, Montoya Givens, 31, and Dante Wicker, 31, are rappers who were slated to perform at Lounge 31 on 7 Mile near Gratiot on January 21st, but that event was canceled. Fox 2 sources.
Okay, so you heard right there, right? That, these three rappers were set to perform and the show got canceled. So it just makes sense for them to immediately go home after that. Show canceled, no show, no performance, right? But they've been missing for weeks after this. And it looks like their bodies were found in this abandoned building, according to the news sources out there. So, man, let's actually talk about each one of these guys, man. And these are the guys right here. I'm going to show you, right? All right, so these are the guys that reportedly, you know what I'm saying, were found dead in this building after being missing for weeks after a canceled show. You have Armani Kelly, Dante Wicker, and Montoya Givens. Now, I don't know what their rap names were. Maybe we'll get to that in a second in the story. But, man, this is sad. If so, man, rest in peace to them cats. And hopefully, man, it wasn't any kind of crazy. Well, obviously, it was some craziness involved in this situation, man. It's crazy, man.
Bruh.
Like, I've been watching this situation play out since they've been missing, and I knew that maybe they just pop up or something. Maybe it was some situation where they went from one show to another city and then maybe went on the road or something like that. But nah, it looks like all of these guys were kind of at the local level of being rappers, and all of them were found in this building, you know what I'm saying, after the show was canceled. Now, what's sketchy about this is I'd be wondering what's up with the promoter. Why was the show canceled in the first place? Like, what happened? Like, was there some sort of argument? There's so many different variables to this where this could have went wrong. But I don't know if these guys all know each other, if they're all independent artists on their own, but this seems like a crazy situation to say the least, man. Now, let's look at this news story from the New York Post that actually gives some more details to what might have went on in this situation, right? Okay, so as you see here in the headline for this story from the New York Post, it says this: missing rappers found dead days after canceled performance in Detroit report. Now, these are the guys again in this picture here, and let's actually play this news story and see
in
what it
Highland
says.
Park, that's where police believe they have found the bodies of three rappers who had been missing in Detroit for nearly 2 weeks. We're told Armani Kelly, Dante Wicker, and Montoya Givens were found dead in an abandoned apartment building at McNichols and Log Cabin a short time ago. Now, the trio was reported missing on January 21st after their performance was canceled at an East Side Detroit club.
So as you heard there, man, it's been 2 weeks since they've been missing. So I'm pretty sure their families have been going crazy about this situation, man. Like,
Bruh.
this is wild. This is like some for a rapper, like if you're a rapper in Detroit, this would be like a horror story for you, man. And I don't mean any disrespect to the deceased. Now, the story goes on to say this. It says 2 missing rappers and their friend were found dead in an abandoned Michigan apartment building Thursday, nearly 2 weeks after they disappeared the night their gig was canceled. Investigators discovered the bodies of Armani Kelly, Dante Wicker, and Montoya Givens, who had been missing since the night of January 21st, in a building in Hyde Park near the Detroit border. 3 police sources told the Detroit News a person of interest has been brought in for questioning. So they're saying that they have a person of interest. Probably the promoter, that would be the first person I'd ask what went wrong. And why was the show canceled in the first place? So it looks like this has been reported as 3 rappers, but one of the guys was just a friend of one of the rappers, right? And these two, I don't know if they're a duo or anything like that, but this, like I said, is a crazy situation, man.
Bruh.
Now, it continues by saying the 3 bodies were found under mounds of debris inside the basement of the apartment complex, Michigan State Police said, without confirming the identities of the remains, the local outlet reported. So they didn't even confirm this completely with the family, I don't think, but I mean, they usually talk to the family first, right? So the news has been on this story for about a week, I'll say. Like, everybody's been trying to see what went wrong in this situation because the original headlines were weird. It was like, yo, 3 rappers just went missing and they've been gone for a week. And people were like, okay, been gone for a week. Maybe they went out of town, anything, you know, they'll eventually pop up. But to find out that they were buried under debris and they were dead, I mean, it sounds like they were killed, man. Like, that's the only, these are some young guys. That's the only thing you could put 2 and 2 together with this situation, man. Some obviously went foul out there in Detroit, and somebody tried to cover it up by burying these guys in this abandoned building. But, you know, the police were probably looking around abandoned buildings for the bodies, for the people to be found anyway. So they ended up finding their bodies or their remains. Craziness, man. Now, the men had been shot, one of the sources told the paper. So it looks like all 3 were shot. This is, yeah, man. I don't know if this was personal. I don't know if they had any type of ops out there or anything like that. But to bury them in some buildings after shooting them, I mean, obviously it sounds like some sort of planned out hit, planned out murder. You know what I mean? Now, squatters often use these abandoned buildings, according to cops. Kelly, whose stage name is Marley Watt, and Wicker, known as B12, had been scheduled to perform at a birthday party inside a Detroit lounge on the night they disappeared, but the show was canceled. So it looks like these guys were set to perform at this birthday party, and that's when they went missing after the show was canceled. Seems innocent enough. I mean, if they're getting bookings, people are booking them for events. Seemed like they had a little bit of buzz behind them, maybe, you know what I mean? Now, Kelly, 27 years old, reportedly told his fiance that his show at Lounge 31 had been canceled due to an equipment issue and planned to link up with his 2 friends to find some open mic events, the Detroit News reported. So it looks like dude was on his grind. Even though his show got canceled, he said, forget that, man. We're going to find some open mic events and we probably just going to, do something for free since the show, there was equipment issues or whatnot. In the building stages of his career. Normal stuff there. Now, it goes on to say he picked up Wicker, 31 years old, and Givens, 31 years old, in his car that evening. Kelly's fiance said she couldn't reach him sometime after 7:30 p.m. after texting and calling his phone several times. So it looks like the fiance was reaching out and she knew something was wrong when she couldn't get with him because he probably used to responding to his fiance. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably instantly. Let's be for real. Now, last week, police spotted Kelly's car, a 2017 Chevy Equinox, on the road without a license plate. A 15-year-old boy was behind the wheel and was taken into police custody. That's odd, right? So they caught his car. They found his car, and a 15-year-old was driving it, and it had no license plates on it. Sounds like somebody shot them, took his car, and just put it somewhere, or gave it to somebody or anything, and this 15-year-old either grabbed it. It would be crazy if that was the person who was involved, but I doubt it, man. It looks like they took the young boy into custody. They probably just asking him about what's up. But we've seen things in hip-hop before where it was like a 15-year-old, remember the original reports about the Pop Smoke shooting was a kid who was like only 15, 16 years old. Like, most of the dudes in that Pop Smoke shooting were minors. So it's not impossible. Now, it also says the teen told police officers that a man had instructed him to pick up the car from a location on Detroit's west side, the Detroit News reported. So somebody told him to get that car. So this is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. Sounds like somebody was trying to cover up their tracks, to be real with you.
Bruh.
So let's continue. Now, it says investigators looked through the boy's texts and calls with the man and learned he had an outstanding warrant involving an alleged fraud. They searched his home Monday and took him in for questioning, a source told the outlet. So they went through the kid's phone, the 15-year-old's phone, and found who he was texting and who gave him those instructions. And they found out that guy actually had a warrant for fraud. So it's a possibility he might be involved. Not saying that he is. Now, police also recovered surveillance video of a man wearing gloves cleaning out the Equinox. So the Chevy car that belonged to one of the rappers, they have video of somebody cleaning it out. Now, if that doesn't lead them to somebody, I don't know what would. Now, the 15-year-old was arrested and charged in connection with his possession of Kelly's vehicle. A day before the bodies were found, Detroit police brought in a person of interest for questioning, sources told the Detroit News. So it looks like they've been on this case and on the trail, and I'm pretty sure their families have been pressuring the local police department there to bring somebody to justice or either to find them. But sadly enough, they found out that they're deceased. Now they're going back and trying to backtrack and find the car and stuff like that. And there's so much video evidence out there these days, man. They'll lead to finding somebody. Watch. Now it ends by saying this. At least 2 of the mothers of the men have been contacted by police about the grisly discovery, though investigators said the remains haven't been ID'd according to the local paper.
Bruh.
Sad for that family, man, to learn that, they just out there trying to rap, pursue their dream, and end up being the victims of what looks like right here, a homicide. All 3 men had recently been paroled from prison where they met, according to Kelly's fiance. So trying to turn their life around, hopefully, man. Recently got out of jail, probably pursuing their rap dreams. We've seen this before, and we've seen it be very, very successful. Unfortunately, in this situation, it seems like it turned out for the worst, man, which is it's sad, man, because we don't know the details of what went on yet, and we don't know who was involved or why they were involved. But these cats were obviously trying to pursue their dream in this thing called hip hop, man, and ended up losing their life. So rest in peace to them, man. Now, with that, what do you guys think about this situation? Do you think that there's just so much going on here that obviously it was a homicide? Obviously somebody tried to cover it up. And do you believe that somebody will be brought to justice for these murders? Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this high content. And we out of here, man. And rest in peace to those brothers who lost their life, man. Peace.